Thank you for joining us. This is The Choice 2023 on Equa Television International. Others reject the result. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I have Joyce Jakada and then Saleh Desha on the studio.
Thank you. Good morning, Sample.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I did like this earlier, so it's
of people out there. I just want us to look at this. We have 36 states plus Federal Republic of the voting power, and then where people are really strong, like they are strongholds where these politicians really pull vote. Each from these three, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, Atiku, and Peter Obi, they won 12 states each. And then for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he won Ogun, Oyo, and for Atiku, Kebbi, Bauchi, Gombe, and Katsina. I was just so surprised, when I saw, PDP winning.
You know how we continue to maintain their hopes at each other, but this time around, all eyes were on INEC, and it didn't just it wasn't just the citizen, but even political party. They had to form coalition on the announcement. But what some at the end of the day, and we election ranging from issues about logistics, malfunctioning of the BVAS, inability of officials to even some polling units, like. People were expecting that they will have access to the IREV, that's the result viewing portal. It generated a lot of reaction. Responded to that, saying that no, people should disregard that allegation. We don't have any intention to do anything. And yes, INEC assured that it was tested. We saw it being used in Osun and even Ekiti State. But this is a general election that is going to cut across the 36 states and even the FCT. So more was expected to be seen. And a lot of the switch at the end of the day, the Nigerians are thinking that, since the results from the polling unit can be received directly at INEC's headquarters in Abuja, like in real time, then that means it cannot be manipulated. In fact, questions were asked, what if people hack the system and then maybe hide numbers based on which party they are? But INEC says no, there's going to be picture. Like at the end of the day, the result will be snapped and it will be sent as well. So they are going to check if they are in consonance. But reverse was the case. We saw complaints from most polling units how that at the end of the day results were counted but they were not uploaded. From the presentation, obviously what we saw was manual presentation. It wasn't really like reflection of what INEC displayed on screen, so that people, I think that was one of the concerns that one of the political party agents raised, that how sure are we that that is what is in the BVAS, because this result went through different processes and it is still manual result presentation that we're seeing. So people began to doubt the process, confidence were lost. But like I will always maintain, I give it to Nigerians, like they were resilient. It was like a birth of a new Nigeria. We were so applauding a lot of people. We had calls how people, when they voted, they were so peaceful. Nigerian shall is going to be historic because so many new registered voters, like people that never voted in there to be. But at the end of the day, in that, and I think this is one of the election again that will receive complaints of this vote. Why? We were told that in the BVAS from the INEC officials were nowhere to be found, and we had instances where results were not even uploaded from a particular polling unit. We kept using example of the polling unit that had about 3 polling units in Rukuba Road. Just of the concerns, the irregularities that INEC said is 97. So when you look at the number of the people that collected their PVs, like these were people that we saw that we are ready. They're not just collecting the PVs to just put in their purse, but people were collecting PVs and even giving picture evidence. Oh, this is my PVC, I just collected it, I went through this process, but I'm going to vote. So out of these 87 million people, going by the results that INEC have presented so far, how many people were in all, how many people voted? You have that figure, What was the figure, please? I think
Okay, I'm not there.
that's like voters are collected. There was collected from all the 36 states with the FCT. It's just 30% readiness with all the picture 23. How can we say that it's just 30%? Like, this is one of the elections that experienced large turnout. So there are a lot of questions, and like I said, observations have been made, and that was why we kept calling on the INEC chairman. I think there's need for you to release, for the sake of integrity. People, you write your name in gold, but obviously the body language that was coming from the INEC chairman like wasn't looking to that political parties, aggrieved parties, candidates can just go to the court, which we know that it's being provided by the constitution, the vice the constitution, not quite ensure that the will of the people counts at the end of the day. And one thing I like from like that I took from his follow, like going by law, even though we've seen how some political parties have expressed no confidence, lack of confidence even in the judiciary, because like this is not the first time we've seen cases where the Supreme Court even make like give an order but it's not being adhered to. And so people are asking, so what's the essence of going to the court? In fact, someone this morning was saying, when you see that is there, go there, my brother will defend me. But we have, and we must get things right. Observers were here, the world were, but if we don't get it right, then it's not going to affect only Nigeria or African countries, but even beyond. And that is why we must get this right. So that means that if you can reclaim your mind. Think about where we are right now. Nigeria is still struggling to come up, even with the effect of the COVID-19, the insecurity, all of that, kidnapping for ransom that has made a lot of people like all their go back now to our like go against the law. But I like the atmosphere coming out this morning. Like everywhere was calm. It's passing a message, because at this point you expect that a result is already announced, so we should see people jubilating since it is their will. But like for me, I'm not seeing that, so I'm asking, like maybe it's from my contact or my own page, but I'm yet to see that celebration, because when the result is being announced, that's what you expect. But this is a game, and we know at the end of the day there will be a winner. Situation where you don't trust the process, even when results have been declared, people would like I can't sit down here. We have to work out, because like need to come together and ensure that at the end of the day the interest. Let's think of the impact we've been enjoying, and let's not any other time. So it is not time for us to just take them for granted. I think that should be respected.
I agree with you. Let me take the one for Peter Obi, Ebonyi, Enugu.
For every this election, that we had a winner, we had a loser. And you said everywhere is calm, you're wondering why. There are times that the milk is split already. Right now, what next? Presently, central bank to check some ifs in INEC, and they did not ask for that box to be open. Let us check what is in that box. They did not ask for the beavers to be checked in their presence. They did not ask for anything. We just went blindly, and everything that took place have to still go down to all of these political parties, because of course you and I cannot fight them, and that what has happened. We already have a president. What are we going to do next? Of course, we've seen congratulations coming from the President Muhammadu Buhari, congratulating him, and he said for political parties that are not happy, let them meet in the court and not on the street. And of course we can see there's nobody on the street actually trying to leading any protest and saying we no go agree or anything of that form. Everybody is just calm, and already even the president-elect have come out to list some things which he said there will no more be strikes in our tertiary institution. He has said, I think among other things, he said he's going to be a servant to Nigerians. So it's one thing. I remember before the elections, I was very, plain, and I told Nigerians, for every manifesto coming from this presidential candidate, make sure you have it handy, just in case if this thing the present president-elect saying, he said he is a kingmaker, he wants to be the king, and he is a king presently right now. That is what it is. But then they were back and forth. As a kingmaker, you want to be a king, what are you hoping to achieve? Most time kingmakers just observe, give advice, and us forum call all of this political pass. We complain how comes we're having overvoting and all of that. But PDP 6 million plus, and I think it's just the end. We just have to put ourselves together, see what is the next line of action, what things are not working as it should be. Joyce have always emphasized that this, you can approach any, is not what we want. Of course, we're expecting to accredited, and then the numbers we're comparing. I think from that 30%, we're having just about all the attention. I said, for example, in Lagos, we have over 7 million accredited voters, but just for their cards and all of that. But then even the votes, showed just a little of all of that from all of this thing. That shows that we're still having, just like one of the calls I had early gubernatorial. What are you going to do? Are you going to say because the presidential candidate, these are the lawmakers at the end of the day, like we keep calling for calmness. Where didn't we get it right, and how can we get it right again? Because it's not all about shouting, and of the day Nigeria will blossom. So I hope that we'll think in that direction.
Well, Stella, I don't want to think that in a time this election was why I kept saying we give. I mean, there were people, we had instances where people say, I went to collect, but I couldn't believe that 70% of the 80s count. Like, I've had instances where people say, please. I've even seen a video where someone was even trying, even the bimodal voter, like the BVAS system. So how can we say with this high turnout that only 30% of there was actually voter apathy, because we saw the turnout. So just like other political parties are saying, hitches have been observed, but you recall how we say they need to look into some of the observations that these political parties are bringing up for the peace of this nation, for the national interest of this, for national interest. So it's not good to just give deaf ears to all of these observations, because we've seen facts, we've seen figures. In fact, at some point, a party agent held the INEC chairman by his word, saying that in real time, result from polling units will be able to, Nigerians will be able to help Nigerians to even remain calm. There are operational failures. These things we are only hearing. Who have raised concerns about results coming from Gombe and Bauchi is result, and it is another state polling, or another polling unit that is showing with his name. Why are we having that after all the assurance, reassurance, and all of that? So I think at this point, let's see people taking responsibility. I told you the importance. We've had issues of malfunctioning. How many recs have even gone to address, oh, we are sorry, this as at 1 p.m. people are not seeing people. How many recs have you seen addressing the people? We didn't see that. So let's have leaders that will be able to take responsibility for even their failures. So it is not just about our success alone or where we're getting it right. We, on this platform, we gave it to INEC because we saw how people were peaceful. People came out there in two. What went wrong? There are a lot of questions that have been raised. Can I defer continuation of the collation? Because once result is being announced, the next you can do is go to court. If you, I like the confidence, and then go to court, go to court, go to court. You understand? People might begin to, oh, is it actually just like the other person saying, oh, my elder brother is in the court, go, let's see how you win. I listened to a spokesperson of, I think, Labour Party, how he talked about the fact that he's not going to court because he doesn't have confidence even in the judiciary. I don't think we should it's not trusted.
Yeah, it's not trusted. Yeah,
so I don't think that is right. Let's get this system working. And I think it is not a time for us to start saying, oh, I will not. I know people are aggrieved, but let's think. Governorship election is still coming, and again, because you didn't vote and bad leader emerge and policies are made that at the end of the day is affecting you. Time for gubernatorial election, they say, oh, I'm not participating, let the people in that particular state go and vote. You're staying there, the environment will not even be conducive for you. So I think we should, even as we seek for rule of law to take its course, for the right thing to be done. I've had political parties, I think I'm comforted with how most of these political parties are taking the issues. Like, they are calling for calm. We have our agent contact across all the polling units. So we have our facts. Now it is time for us to use technology, to use creativity, to use our intelligence, to use our ideas to claim our mandate. That person is celebrating. So if you think the mandate is yours and you have a mandate, so let's remain calm. But questions that have been raised, observations.
How comes from because people, the turnout, you know that they're coming together, where we'll see there's comments like saying, I don't trust the judicial system to actually carry out justice at the end of the day. It will suit the nation, not for my personal interest, but because of Nigeria at the end of the day. But to just be about nation building, what can we do? Of course, we have seen the APC president-elect saying that he's calling on other parties to come together as other candidates, that will see them coming together. Like yesterday, you're saying, we will never have imagined that different political parties will form an alliance. But we saw that is to show that we have a particular, reason. We have, just like you said, we've been calling for calm, and we will be calm as Nigerians, because at the end of the day, we want what would suit us in the country. We want what will make us happy. The pothole or kidnappers attacking you. We want to get to that point where when I go abroad, I'll not be treated like a slave or anything. Why? Because my country has embarrassed. I want a situation where we can all come together before we can even talk about our religion. And even though people feel as if we did not really something, let politicians remember that they are not God at the end of the day. And I keep emphasizing and say, if you say that politics does not affect you, the policy will affect you. That will just be calm. Just as we're here calm, so we just hope that this spirit will be contagious to other people. And
the personnel deployed to Lagos. And he was like, is it that they forced an announcement? Because the point he's trying to make is that during the talk, any impact of that numbers is just to prevent when the result is using their brain to think and to read in between the lines. Because like you said, we want to give people reason to think whatever they want to think, and you can't blame them. And they throw some sensitive questions that when they get at you, it will be different. So now looking at the entire process, do you see this affecting the gubernatorial election? That is in two ways, either by voter apathy or by using the same system and make a statement.
Well, Sambo Solomon, already with their citizens, what we are seeing, what INEC is doing is INEC is doing well. The process is sweet. In fact, one of the party agents said they're about 9, but for that, they've had situation where from free and fair, they pointed out the irregularities and all of that. So some supporters of parties like that have lost confidence in the whole process. Some of them have made coming election.
And he's going to mobilize the youth
on youth as well not to vote. But think about this. We're talking about the presidential election. Is so important and very consequential, and it is a time where all eyes are on us. But get peaceful, even with the delays, but they were peaceful, they were calm. People, I think that people will go to vote and you'll be asked, if you're not voting for this party, go to your land. If you're not voting for this, that's the resilience I'm talking about. We didn't see that just in Lagos. It cut across like the churches. You see that even parties that people didn't think can scale through. Lagos was Labour Party. When you go to Abuja, imagine, come to Nasarawa, Plateau State and other places. For the southeast, like you can just say, oh, maybe because it's coming from that zone and all of that, but still, mark was made. So these are some of the things that shows that yes, people were all out and they didn't just talk, but they did the talk. You get, so I'm giving it to Nigerians for that. And for other candidates, concerning the credibility of the process, because if the process is faulty, of course the end result will be affected. And that is why all those observations were made, and INEC was called, attention of INEC was drew. So like we said, some are rejoicing, some are actually bitter with the process. Voter apathy can come up. Disappointed at the president that even with the assurance of leaving a legacy was not actually represented. So there's possibility of voter apathy, but I think, and like I said earlier on, no, let's not think towards that line, that because the outcome is not a reflection of what we voted, doesn't mean we should just give up on the process. We don't have any nation apart from Nigeria. This is our country, and we must keep quiet. We fold our arms and just like, oh, since the mandate has been stolen, I'm not going to participate in the process. Badly, what happens? So you can tell from the past 8 years, 10 years, 16, 20, whatsoever it rules, the people definitely will suffer. So Do you want to suffer? If you want to suffer, then you tore the part of. At this point, they'll be excited that you're saying, "Oh, I'm not going to vote." At least more numbers. I'm not going to vote. So you're denying that right candidate the opportunity to get your vote. And at the end of the day, it is not just you, but the future, your own future as well. And so there is likelihood of the voter apathy. Get them. Gather, arrange, you go back to the drawing board, and that way, like where you feel the. But for those people that are out there celebrating, congratulations. So at the end of the day,
where Joyce left, my own will be a question. Right now, what is INEC doing to the server and all of that? What are they going to do about this? Because just like Joyce said, whether we like it or not, we shouldn't let them have their way. Because definitely some people insist on the fact that this gubernatorial, like not my party, you get, but of course in everything, like it or not, and definitely there will be those who are winning and those that are losing. But that doesn't mean that you should let your emotions get the best part of you, because eventually you take these emotions and not want to come out for the gubernatorial election. We need to be intellectual. We need to think right. We need to say, what are we going to do right now to make sure that we make a change that we want to see? We leave a footmark that when somebody right now. So definitely, just like you've been saying, we need to make a statement. We need to come out and do the right thing. But I'm calling on INEC.
From Abuja. Good morning, Isaac.
I'm calling from Abuja.
Yeah, go ahead. How is Abuja?
Okay. So what I want to say is this. Regard to the whole thing, the INEC have moved ahead to announce the winner of the election. We now talking about maybe some person is going to court. How shall INEC is appointed? So if these people can make their way in this, me, on my own suggestion, I don't think court will favor anybody, because the chief judge is like a ball game.
Thank you.
Okay, Isaac. Thank you.
Good. That's yeah, justice.
You'll see that.
We are talking about hello.
Yes, Isaac.
Hey, here, this president now we are talking about that is newly emerged. He's a business. He's a tycoon. What I mean by tycoon is an old man in the game, so he knows his way so much. So those areas, I believe, is on his farm. So no need of this. Let's just wait for the next election. Moreover, they are not telling us what is going to voting in dating again concerning this election of Nigeria.
Okay, Isaac, thank you for calling. And that's his
take.
His that give people reason to talk. You did, and then very sooner or later people begin to throw your way, and then the Electoral Act, INEC as if it's something that is already planned that you are aware. Just look at it now. The final result is tilted towards what you showed people, and it was the first thing that they painted, like they flood on Nigerians' face, when the election was just fresh to start.
River State. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, and welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Please
what I want to say,
yes, sir,
quickly,
is that early morning rains. That's what I want to say.
Thank you for that call.
Only God knows the outcome. APC are calling on Labour Party, PDP, NNPP to congratulate Tinubu that they should tour the path of Jonathan and congratulate. But what we've seen so far is them go to court and all of that. But well, the right thing must be done, and we urge Nigerians to.
But there's a constitutional provision that whenever you are aggrieved, you are not comfortable, with the final result, then you are to appeal, go to court, fight it, and then who knows, been praying. I saw one video of one small boy that was praying, praying fast. His prayers has not answered. We'll just take a break and we'll come back. Please stay with Airport.